to ERi-TV English news broadcast, dear viewers. We now bring you our domestic and international report for June 19th, 2026. To begin with, here are our top stories. Prayer service conducted in connection with Martyrs' Day. OCHA delegation holds discussions with senior government officials. US planning war-ready weapons stockpile in Australia. And South Korea says Trump open to phased approach to North Korea nuclear issue. In our domestic news, sermons and prayers in connection with Martyrs' Day, presided over by His Holiness Abuna Basilios I, 5th Patriarch of the Orthodox Tewahedo Church, were held at St. Michael's Church in Asmara during the mid-morning hours today. The prayer service was attended by religious leaders of the Tewahedo Orthodox, Catholic and Lutheran Christian denominations. Mergeta Mulgeta Simon from the office of the Patriarch, indicating that the martyrs who paid with their precious lives attested to their love for their people and country, urged citizens to renew their pledge to live up to their expectations. Similarly, in the afternoon hours, Salat and Dua services were conducted at the Al-Khulafa Al-Rashidin Grand Mosque, led by Sheikh Salim Ibrahim Al-Mukhtar, Mufti of Eritrea. Sheikh Salim Ibrahim noting that 20 June, Martyrs' Day, is a day in which the Eritrean people proudly commemorate their martyrs who brought independence and safeguarded national sovereignty, urged every citizen to strengthen contributions in support of families of martyrs. In another news, a United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, led by Ms. Eden Wasonu, Director of the Response Division, met and held talks on 18 and 19 June with senior government officials, focusing on mutual cooperation and development programs. The delegation, accompanied by Ms. Nahla Valji, Resident Coordinator of UN officials in Eritrea, held discussions with Mr. Osman Saleh, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Arafaina Berhe, Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Yamana Gabra Meskel, Minister of Information, as well as Mr. Yamana Gabra Ab, Head of the Political Affairs of the PFDJ. The objective of the visit of the OCHA delegation was to observe national development priorities and challenges, assess firsthand the impact of climate change, strengthen cooperation modalities, and review program activities. The delegation also visited malnutrition prevention and treatment services in Adita Kalezan, a water supply project operating with a solar energy system in Mbadarho, as well as the Akhira National Model of Integrated Organic Agriculture. Various programs have been conducted in the Central region in connection with 20 June Martyrs' Day, reflecting the deep meaning of the day as well as the heavy sacrifice paid. Accordingly, at the program organized by members of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on 18 June, Mr. Osman Saleh, Minister of Foreign Affairs, delivered a speech focusing on the heavy sacrifice paid by the Eritrean people for independence and for safeguarding national sovereignty. The event featured cultural and artistic presentations reflecting the day. A photo exhibition depicting the atrocities committed by successive Ethiopian colonizers against the Eritrean people from 1962 to 1975 was opened on 18 June in front of the Asmara Municipality Office. The exhibition was officially opened by Brigadier General Abraha Kassa, head of the National Security Agency. The exhibition will remain open to the public until June 21st. In the same vein, a walkathon from the Beit Georgis area to Maidaminet and a commemorative program were organized by the Cooperative Association of members of the first round of the National Service. The program was attended by General Philip Oswald Johannes, Chief of Staff of the Eritrean Defense Forces, and other government and PFDJ dignitaries. Meanwhile, members of the Ministry of Information and PFDJ in the Central region organized programs on 16 and 17 June respectively in connection with Martyrs' Day, featuring various cultural and artistic presentations depicting the deep meaning of Martyrs' Day to the Eritrean people. Members of the National Confederation of Eritrean Workers also conducted environmental sanitation activity at the Asmara Martyrs Cemetery. They also organized a program on 17 June at the Confederation's Hall, featuring cultural and artistic performances depicting the day. Similar programs were also organized by the Taxi Owners Association in the Central Region and education offices in the region. Mr. Haile Gebremikael, head of the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare branch in the Southern region, reported that over the past 5 years, over 350 million nakfa has been dispersed in support of families of martyrs in the region. Noting that there are 18,179 families of martyrs in the region, Mr. Haile said that in addition to the support extended by the government, nationals inside the country and abroad have contributed about 17 million nakfa in support of 3,909 disadvantaged families of martyrs identified by their respective administrative areas. Mr. Haile also said that as part of the effort to enable families of martyrs to become self-supportive, 257 families of martyrs have been rehabilitated through dairy farming and small-scale trade at a cost of 2.5 million nakfa. Commending the support extended by government employees, PFDJ organizations and administrations to families of martyrs, Mr. Haile said that over 3.6 million nakfa contributed by civil servants has been distributed to identified families of martyrs. Mr. Haile also called on subzonal and area administrators to continue identifying families of martyrs that need special support and to address their challenge. In a related news, the Ministry of Education branch in the Central region extended 380,000 nakfa to 38 families of martyrs. At an event organized to commemorate 20 June, Martyrs' Day, in which Dr. Halima Mohammed, Minister of Education, and other officials of the Ministry of Education took part, Mr. Belay Habtagaber, head of the Education Office in the Central region, commended the initiative taken by teachers and workers to support families of martyrs, as well as the organizers of the program. The program was highlighted by the Red Flowers group in the Central region, as well as cultural and artistic performances reflecting the day. In continuation of the support they are extending to families of martyrs, Eritrean nationals residing in Germany have contributed over 140,000 euros in support of families of martyrs and towards augmenting the Martyrs Trust Fund. The contribution included 21,517 euros in support of families of martyrs and 18,547 euros towards augmenting the National Martyrs Trust Fund. Accordingly, the Martyrs group in Bielefeld and its environs contributed 470 euros, nationals in Gießen and its environs 1,820 euros, the Hyundai Group in Gießen 1,115 euros, the National Committee in Stuttgart and its environs 3,982 euros, the Eritrean community in Berlin 1,000 euros, the Eritrean community in Kassel and its environs 1,350 euros, the Eritrean community in Weiblingen and its environs 900 euros, nationals in Esslingen 2,700 euros, nationals in Wiesbaden 2,000 euros, and the nationals in Reutlingen and its environs 1,400 euros in support of families of martyrs, while nationals in Bodisei contributed 1,850 euros towards augmenting the National Martyrs Trust Fund. We shall be back with international news, dear viewers, after the short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Our focus now shifts to the global arena. The US will set up a permanent stockpile of battle-ready arms for its Marine Corps in Australia. This is according to reports published yesterday. The American stockpile, which is expected to reach full capacity by 2028, will initially be stored in Melbourne before being moved to Victoria. A spokesman for the U.S. Marine Corps reported that U.S. activities in Australia support integrated global sustainment by maintaining ready-for-issue equipment and supplies for operations and exercises across the Indo-Pacific. The Pentagon has asked the U.S. Congress for $500 million in 2027 to position equipment and fuel across the Asia-Pacific to deter China. The first American stockpile in the region is expected to open in the Philippines later this year. China has repeatedly denounced military cooperation between the U.S. and Australia, accusing the two nations of undermining security in the Asia-Pacific region and having a Cold War mentality. In another news, South Korean President Lee Jae-myung said that U.S. President Donald Trump has agreed to consider his proposal to prioritize halting North Korea's nuclear and missile programs in the short term, while keeping denuclearization as a longer-term objective. During the side meeting of the two officials at the G7 summit in France, President Trump said that it was time to pay attention to North Korea and appeared keen to resume dialogue with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. President Lee said the short-term goal should be stopping North Korea from producing additional nuclear material, transferring weapons or materials overseas, and further developing intercontinental ballistic missile technology. According to reports, Seoul has also agreed to make $150 billion in shipbuilding investments in the U.S. led by South Korean companies under a trade deal with Washington. In today's final report, extreme weather and climate-related events killed more than 3,000 people and affected at least 13 million across Africa in 2025, with floods accounting for more than half of reported disasters, the World Meteorological Organization reported yesterday. The continent is warming faster than the global average, with North Africa observing a warming rate of around 0.4 degrees Celsius per decade between 1991 and 2025, according to the UN Agency State of the Climate in Africa 2025 report. Severe flooding in Nigeria in May led to over 200 deaths, and flooding in the Democratic Republic of the Congo in April led to over 160 deaths. Drought affected more than 8.5 million people in East Africa, the report added. Africa's glaciers have lost more than 90% of their area since the late 19th century, with Mount Kilimanjaro's glacier area declining from 11.4 kilometers square in 1900 to less than 1 kilometer square in recent years. Similarly, sea level rise along African coasts from 1999 to 2025 has exceeded the global average of 3.6 millimeter per year in several regions, reaching around 5.6 millimeter per year in the Red Sea, the report added. With this, we'll conclude our domestic and international report for this session. Dear viewers, now the top stories once more. Prayer service conducted in connection with Martyrs Day. OCHA delegation holds discussions with senior government officials. US planning war-ready weapons stockpile in Australia. And South Korea says Trump open to phased approach to North Korea nuclear issue. With this, we conclude our domestic and international report for this session. Dear viewers, thanks for watching.